Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is just an opinion based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears to some of the things that are taking place throughout our city, state, country, and sometimes around the world. And I also want to thank people that have been supporting my channel. I do have a Cash App, $ Trevor Donald 20. That's Cash App. It's $ Trevor Donald 20 if you want to send a contribution and continue to support this channel. Thank you very much. And this one is coming straight out of Tampa, Florida. Just when we think we can trust individuals with our retirement and give them your money for savings purposes, you got to make sure you vet the right person. There are plenty of Bernie Madoffs out here, and this one is straight out of Tampa, where a nonprofit, and a gentleman that was running one has stolen over $100 million. That's right, $100 million. So let's go. Tampa, Florida, St. Pete nonprofit responds to what happened to missing $100 million. Millions of dollars in trust fund money is missing. Cash that was meant to provide long-term care for some of the most vulnerable. A local nonprofit was supposed to manage those funds, but the founder is now accused of loaning himself $100 million and not repaying that money back. The Center for Special Needs Trust Administration manages trust funds for people that have catastrophic personal injuries and received a settlement because of it. 8 on Your Side discovered that their money started vanishing in 2009. I get a letter in the mail saying the account has been depleted, said Louis Capasso, Elena's dad. There's nothing left in there. Capasso said his daughter, Elena, who has Down syndrome, had $250,000 in a trust account managed by the Center for Special Needs Trust Administration. Every penny, he says, is gone. Every penny. They don't see you getting the money back, they said Capasso. His case is far from the only one. According to the center's Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing, we've discovered that there could be as many as 1,000 people who are missing some or all of their trust money. Investigator Brittany Mueller went to speak to the nonprofit spokesperson, Beth Latham. When something happened, how much money was missing? No, when this happened, how much money was missing? The amount that we know right now is $100 million, Latham said. The center said its new leadership learned 2 years ago there was a $100 million loan to Boston Finance Group, a company controlled by the center's founder, Leo Govani, and his associates. So this is how this money has gotten transferred to this gentleman. The loan transfer began in 2009. Around the same time, Govani stepped down from the center's board. Court documents reveal Govani still had control and influence over the center's operations and finances. When asked how it was discovered that the funds went missing, Latham said, there was some turnover and a letter was discovered. The unsigned letter dated from November 2021, according to the bankruptcy filing, and was left behind by Giovanni's daughter, Caitlin Janicki, following her resignation in April 2022. She had been serving as the vice president. The center said it doesn't know why Janicki left, but it caused everything to begin to unravel. They began pulling on threads while they still managed the trust fund, trying to figure out what happened here. Where has this money gone, Latham said. The center discovered the $100 million loan was supposed to be repaid in full no later than January 1, 2017. But the center said despite that deadline, Boston Finance Group continued to draw funds and has not paid it back. Of course, they stole it, and they don't have any plans of paying it back. The center also said during all of this, Govani tried to take back the center 3 separate times, Latham said during the summer of 2023. This is just last year. They contacted the law firms and said, "We haven't been able to figure this out internally. We would like you to help us figure it out," she said. The center filed bankruptcy on February 9th of this year. Days later, a notice was sent to families impacted, including the Capassos. He didn't even care the kids that he was stealing from, Capasso said. That's what makes it so bad. I would tell them that we are doing everything we possibly can to get that money back where it belongs with the kids, Ms. Latham said, and the families. Every legal remedy available to us, we are accessing it. We are pursuing it. Aid on your side is pursuing it too. We still have a lot of questions, including where are the loan documents? According to the bankruptcy filings, the center does not have them. There's no loan, there's no paper trail on this guy getting the money, Govani. Where is Leo Govani? We would love to be able to tell you that too, but so far we haven't been able to reach him or his attorney. Said we're also looking into whose responsibility it is to oversee a center that was managing over $200 million. The center said it notified law enforcement earlier this year about the missing funds. That was about 2 years after it found out that $100 million was missing. But exactly where and which agency, we are trying to figure that out. I thought this was a very interesting story. Just when you think that, if you're poor, you have all the problems in the world. But when you have money, your issues, your insecurities get exacerbated. And actually, when you have something that somebody can take, it should make your 5 senses and your ears and eyes open up to making sure that you pick the right attorneys, you pick the right financial company, finance company, a financial company to manage your money, the right stockbroker, the right certified financial planner. That's not always easy. There are far more vultures out here trying to take from you than you are trying to take from them or keep them from taking from you. There are always athletes go through this all the time. You have to watch your lawyers. You have to watch your accountants. Everybody thinks the government is against you, which is not necessarily true. The government is supposed to be here to protect the citizenry. However, there are plenty of individuals out here that will take and steal your money. And this Govani guy, who has taken over $100 million from a fund, a special needs trust administration for people that have special needs and these young kids, is just abominable. I mean, this shows you a level of greed and callousness to human kind and mankind that he eventually will get caught and will go to jail. It's unfortunate, and I'm sure Mr. Govani is probably in his 60s or whatever, to have gone through this entire life of his and decided to end up being a crook and to steal from this fund that's here for people with special needs. Completely unfortunate. This took place in Tampa, Florida. I told you about a previous case in one of my other videos where a woman in San Antonio stole over $120 million from the military and the government with a fake special needs nonprofit fund for kids. She stole over $120 million over 7 years and finally got caught. So you have these fake shell nonprofit companies that are getting donations and people are investing in them, and sometimes their mission statement is not in alignment with the people that are running it. But yeah, this is straight out of St. Pete. Nonprofit they're trying to find out where is the $100 million that's missing from this Mr. Govani. It's unfortunate. Um, there are tons of people. You had the Bernie Madoff scenario years ago out of New York where he stole like $57 billion. You hear of these cases. Wall Street has a long-standing history. These MBAs, finance guys, um, lawyers on Wall Street who have pilfered um, pensions, uh, Ponzi schemes, especially during the Obama administration and in the banking industry, and none of them went to jail. Billions and billions of dollars were being transferred at a push of a button. And Wall Street has been a harbinger for greedy individuals, theft. But people look at white collar, they call that white collar crime versus someone going and robbing a bank. I guess that's blue collar or black collar. And many of these white collar crimes, they get a slap on the wrist. And evidently, this Govani guy is not a dummy, and I don't know what his full background is, but for him to have this trust, and it was associated with, what is that, the Boston Finance Group that he had control over also. So he had this nonprofit, Boston Finance Group. He was collateralizing funds there, but at the end of the day, he put his hand in the pot and took $100 million. And supposedly it was over $200 million in this fund. And now they can't find them. And it's unfortunate for Mr. Louis Capasso and his daughter Elena, who has cerebral palsy, and they needed this money for her savings. If something happened to them, this trust would have been able to take care of his daughter. Blind trust, wills are very important, especially if you have a home and some assets, especially if you're middle-aged and you have children. I brought this subject up because it's very important, especially for people of color. You're talking about educating yourselves on life insurance, trusts, wills, having the right appropriate accountant, a tax attorney, LLCs, blind trusts. We have to uplift our education and our consciousness on what's going on today. If you have any assets, a home, even do you have enough money for funeral burial services when you die? That could be part of your will and your trust to set aside. Did you work for a company for 30 years and did they have a pension or a 401k? Or did you save and invest your own dollars? Well, you need to have a trust, a will, and some of those other ancillary businesses or business items to make sure that you're protected as you pass on to the afterlife and to help the people that you have left behind. So I thought after seeing this, it gives us an opportunity to talk about trust, wills, and you want to vet as much as you possibly can. As I say, when you're poor and you think the world it doesn't care about you and nobody gives a damn, well, there's nothing for them to take. But when you have something and when you have assets and you have a few dollars and you've built this nest egg, there are tons of people that are trying to take it, whether it's lawyers, family members, even sometimes if it's a situation where you have diabolical children, sometimes money can get in the way. And here again, I'm sure these people thought that they were putting this money in the appropriate hands of Mr. Govani and this nonprofit, and now there is $100 million missing, which I'm sure they will not get back. If he plotted and found a way to get it and take it, I'm sure he has found a way to hide it and or spend it. And remember, his daughter, Govani's daughter, was involved as the vice president with the Boston fund, and then she ended up leaving the Boston Finance Group, and then she ended up leaving under weird circumstances. So I don't know if his daughter has something to do with it, or she got out of there before it got too hairy. Yeah, she was serving as the vice president of the center, of the nonprofit center. Her name was Miss Caitlin Janicki. And so they're going to have to find out where she is. And if the feds cannot find her father, Mr. Govani, they will definitely find her, and she will let them know. I don't know how this is going to play out, but I think it's very important, as I said, to educate yourself on trust, wills. If you do have some assets, a home, vehicles, a savings, a little nest egg, life insurance, you want to make sure that you have the appropriate attorneys and accountants. If you have an LLC, and make sure that you have the right people to prepare those documents and have it clearly spelled out where those assets are going once you pass away. But this is unfortunate, and you see this all the time with hedge funds, as I talked about with Wall Street. I told you about the nonprofit with the lady in San Antonio. She stole straight from the government and the military, over $120 million over 7 years now. She's been arrested. And I'm sure the government and the feds are going to go after Mr. Govani now that there's $100 million missing. The unfortunate part is many times when they catch these individuals, the money is gone. And that's the unfortunate part. And guess who suffers? The children that need this the most, and the families for this Special Needs Trust Administration. So this is straight out of Tampa, Florida. St. Pete nonprofit. What happened to the missing $100 million? Tell me what you think. I try to give you some videos that educate you, and it's not always about death and destruction, but this is definitely a video about sparking your consciousness, and sometimes maybe we can learn a thing or two from some of these video channels. Thank you very much for listening. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way.